What up, YouTube? I am your host, Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews, back in here with yet one more video, joined by a very special guest. Kelly, say what's up.
Hey, everybody.
All right, so listen, want to go over an AMS video, ways you validate women, what not to do. I know you have a lot of perspectives about the dating game, the dating culture, what you've experienced,
Sure.
and maybe have something to share today, or at least validate some of the things that Alpha Male Strategy is saying or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, let's take a look and see.
Anything to say before we get started?
Nope, let's dive right in.
Let's just get in there. All right, let's just get right in there. Without further ado.
Alright, what's up, fellas? So my last couple of videos I was dealing with talking about validation, giving women validation, and it seemed to have a lot of guys confused as into what was validating women and what was not. I had a lot of guys asking, is this validating women? Is that validating women? Well, guys, basically validating women is pretty much anything anytime you're giving a woman your non-sexual attention. So basically, women already know you want to have sex with them, so that's nothing. But what a woman wants to get you to do when she knows you care about her is when you're giving her a lot of your non-sexual attention. So that's why we tell you guys don't talk on the phone and stuff like that, because when you're talking on the phone, you're giving a woman your non-sexual attention, you're validating her. That's how you end up in the fucking friend zone. Because see, once you validate a woman and you give a woman a lot of your non-sexual attention, well, she has no reason to give you her sexual attention because you're already giving her your non-sexual attention.
There was a lot just right then. Agree, disagree? Is what he's saying making sense?
I can see his point in that. Yeah, if you're doing a lot of things that, if your intention is you want sexual attention, but you're doing a lot of non-sexual attention, you're not going to get what it is that you want.
That you want, yeah. Mm-hmm. So, do you have like experiences where, dudes have like tried to hit you up and then you ended up just kind of just putting them in the friend zone? It's because like you weren't like maybe sexually attracted to them, but they fulfilled something for you, right? Like maybe it's calling them regarding what's going on in your day, or talking about other situations or relationships that you're in. Like, have you moved people into the friend zone because it was easy to do so?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Yeah, there's definitely been guys where it's just I knew I wasn't like physically attracted to them or sexually attracted to them, but they did fulfill a need just for conversation, and I moved them, I guess, pretty quickly. Like, I just knew that I could just talk to them for hours, and that was the extent of it. So.
Damn. God damn. Meanwhile, they're like, one more conversation it's mine, and in the meantime, you're like, I'm gonna take his entire Sunday afternoon.
No, I mean,
to talk about my life.
Particularly, there was a guy that I definitely knew that he had interest, but he was a truck driver, and there wasn't like, I wasn't going to be able to like see him, so I definitely like utilized just like, talking to them like on the phone, and he gave like great advice and was listening to me and stuff like that. So
real quick, so you weren't into him because he was a truck driver,
no,
or because
I'm saying
he had long trips and you had an opportunity to talk to him?
Yeah, he had long trips and he was on the road, and I knew that, probably there wouldn't come anything of it because of his profession, the level of attention or quality time that I would want necessarily in a relationship. So being a great friend that I could, just talk to while he's driving, like, that was perfect. Got
it. But in the meantime, you knew in the back of your head, like,
yeah,
he wanted me.
Oh, of course.
Let me ask you another question, kind of separate off topic, but like, because, and there's nothing wrong with being a truck driver. I'm not pooping on truck drivers.
Not at all. That's a great person.
But I know you work at a great company, yes, right? Like, and him being a truck driver, did that raise or lower how you valued him on the totem pole? I'm
laughing because it probably probably lowered it to a certain extent. And I'm not saying that he was like a bad person or, but I just knew for me, like what I'm looking for in a relationship, having someone constantly on the road is not going to be sufficient.
Got it. So it wasn't. So it's more of a time perspective as opposed to the security that he could, like the financial security that he could eventually provide for you.
Oh yeah, it wasn't.
That's not the focus at all.
No, it wasn't the focus. It wasn't. I mean, it's not. I'm not saying I didn't think about it, but I'm saying it wasn't the focus. It wasn't. It just, that profession is not going to be conducive to what I'm looking for in a relationship.
It's a grueling profession.
Yeah.
And it's also one that's, you know, it's kind of up in the air if it's still going to like be around in the next 10 years with all this, you know, automation with the vehicles and stuff. So I don't know, like I'd be looking at that as well as like, wait, hold up, this is what he's doing right now, but you know, the job is potentially won't be a job in about 10 years. So like you got to think about, you know, yourself, like, you know, if you're making that long-term commitment or investment, like what does that look like?
Exactly. At this point in the game, that's what I'm thinking about. I'm not thinking, you know, just for this moment. It's like potentially, you know, long term. How would this mesh and how would this work?
Got it. Well, I appreciate your honesty. All right, we're about to get back in here. You ready?
Yep.
All right, let's do it.
See, what you're dealing with women is you're trying to get an even exchange, non-sexual attention for sexual attention. Do you get that? You're not trying to become where she getting all the benefits and you're getting all the goddamn, you're giving and she's just getting. You understand? So if you're gonna give a woman your non-sexual attention, she's got to give you her sexual attention. So basically, to validate a woman, this is why I tell you guys, don't kiss a woman on the first date. Do you understand that? When you kiss a woman on the first date, you pretty much just validated her. And see, I used to do that and things would fizzle out. Now, I don't, and I see they're a lot more confused. A lot of the women would text me when they get home, hey, I had a great time.
Say what?
He was just saying you never kiss a woman on the first date, and I was saying, like, I've never kissed anyone on the first date. I don't,
So that doesn't, so you don't try, because I've had other women up here that say, like, yeah, they try to get the dude to kiss on the first date because it validates them. Like it makes them, it solidifies in their mind how much the dude, like, likes them if they were able to do that. So that's not something that is even like top of mind for you on the first date?
No, none at all. No.
Yeah. No, I think I don't know.
To me, that just seems like a little bit aggressive. Like especially like especially if, okay, so this is a person that I don't know. I don't you know, I'm just meeting, and for you to just kiss me on the first date, I just feel like that's to me, this is me personally, just that's a little bit aggressive.
It's a little bit forward.
Yeah, it's a bit forward, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's different strokes for different folks, but at the same time, whether or not you don't agree because it's a little bit forward, AMS is saying don't do it anyway. So it's like, keep your mouths to yourself. You gotta run the appropriate Carfax first before before putting your lips on
what
something.
they done the night before,
or the hour before,
right?
You know, like.
Up and no.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you on that. So, all right, let's keep going.
All right.
See, they trying to feel me out to see where my head is at, to see if I like them, and I'll say something like, okay, I'm glad you had a good time, get some rest. And I don't validate them like, yeah, I had a great time too. No, just get some rest. I ain't giving you no validation. Now, guys, the shit that I'm talking about on this channel, this is alpha male strategies, not beta male strategies, not relationship strategies. So if you're looking for a relationship, take your ass over there to Corey Wayne and watch his channel. What I'm over here doing is trying to teach alphas who want to fuck and have a rotation. So if you're looking for a relationship, take your ass to Corey Wayne channel.
Oh yeah, I forgot to explain that to you. So he's not a relationship coach. He's a dating coach.
Yeah.
I think that's a key distinction.
Yeah.
That a couple of my subscribers are like, why don't they know that he's not a dating coach? So I'm letting you know, he's a dating coach. He's
not
teaching.
A relationship coach.
No,
yeah.
He's not. The inevitable goal of what he's teaching people is not to find.
Keep a girl in a rotation.
Yeah, well, but there's good girls in rotations, and then there's insecure girls in a rotation. But he's just telling you what is giving you strategies for the most likely way to get sex out of that courtship or wherever you want to describe it as. So just keep it in mind.
Yeah, that's a good point to like keep in mind, because some of the stuff that I'm listening to that he's saying, I'm like, oh, I could see why it's dating and not relationship for sure.
Yeah. True that. All right. So we had to make that distinction.
And get your wife. Y'all know how Tamar Braxton say, get your life? Well, take your ass over to the Corey Wayne channel and get your wife. Because I'm not teaching guys how to get a wife over here. I'm teaching guys how to fuck these bitches to sleep. So, another thing, guys, you don't want to do is you don't want to initiate physical contact when y'all out in public. Is you gonna fuck her in public? Okay then, so it ain't no reason to initiate physical contact. If you're on the living room couch or you're in the bedroom, you can initiate physical contact because you're in a setting for sexual contact, sex to take place. You ain't gonna fuck in a restaurant, so why is you trying to initiate physical contact? You gonna fuck her right there on the fucking table in the restaurant? No, you're not. So you only want to initiate physical contact when you at the house or in a setting where sex can actually take place. Other than that, it serves no fucking purpose.
Agree or disagree?
I guess I am not a big PDA person per se, so I wouldn't want someone to be like overly aggressive like in a public setting. So I would agree with that. Like I like holding hands and stuff like that, but as far as like you just like making moves on me like in public aggressively, no, I wouldn't like that.
So what about, so you said PDA, what is that, public displays of affection?
Affection,
so
yeah.
it's like holding hands and kissing and stuff.
Yeah.
But what about like, so he was saying sexual attention, right?
Like,
so
yeah.
so like, let's say like, you know, you get ready to sit down, like I see you and I give you a hug, like I'm closing the distance of contact.
Mm-hmm.
Like let's say like, you know, we're talking about something and we're talking with our hands and you put your hands down and I show you like on your arm, like, and I start drawing your arm. I'm just getting, it's not like PDA,
yeah.
but I am closing the distance of touch, which usually is a prerequisite of
Sure.
touch in a sexual nature. You know what I mean? So what about that? Like, how do you feel in that regard?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Okay. All right. You ready to keep going?
Yeah.
What's the purpose of fucking grabbing her hand in the middle of the park? You gonna fuck in the park? All right. So, and another thing, one of my subscribers asked me was sex validating a woman. Guys, sex is.
So what I have to keep in mind is that this person is not talking about relationships. This person is talking about, you know, just getting some ass. So it's hard for me to, I don't know, to think in that mindset, because I'm like, oh yeah, grab my hand in the park, or, you know, do, you know, like you were saying, like, eliminating the gap of or distance right. Yeah. of touch and stuff like that. But my mindset and my frame of thought is relationship, not just like, you know.
Yeah, and I think that it's a key distinction.
That's a hard. Yeah, for me to think.
It's hard to talk about, especially if you're minded as if when you date, you're looking for a relationship.
Exactly.
But there's a lot of women out there too that are dating for free meals.
Sure.
So the dating game is not roses and peaches anymore. Like it's not like the old days where, you know, intentions I feel like were a little bit more pure. Mm-hmm. So you have like different ends of the spectrum. Like and I feel like, you know, when you get on a date with somebody, you have to first think like, you know, what not only like what are you trying to do, but what is she trying to do, right? Because not everybody is just looking for a relationship. So it's almost like, what is the dating game that needs to be played in order to see like who's bullshitting who first?
Yeah.
And that's just what it is in 2019 now. You know, it's like a killer be killed type of guerrilla warfare type of a game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think it's very true to know that, because like in my mindset, I'm like, oh yeah, now I do agree when he was talking about not kissing on the first date. Even if my thought is I want relationship, I still don't want you to do that on the first date. But just in general, I think it's really important to have that distinction on what it is that you're looking for, because these rules may or may not apply.
Got it. So what the title of this video is ways you validate women. So he's saying don't validate women. How do you feel about that?
I probably need to listen to more of what he's talking about when he's talking about validation before can come to a good conclusion.
All right, so we're going to revisit that question.
Yes.
It's not validating a woman. See, at that point, you winning. She wants your non-sexual attention, not your sexual attention. She can get sex anywhere. A woman can walk out the door and say, hey, anybody want to have sex with me? And fucking every guy line up. That's nothing. A woman can get that anywhere. What she can't get anywhere is non-sexual attention. So that's what she's vying for. So she's validating and trying to get your non-sexual attention. Understand what I'm saying? And what you're going to do is you're not going to give it to her easy, making her chase and pursue you for that validation. So what she's going to do, she's going to fucking suck you to sleep until you get it. Until you give it to her, but you never give it to her. You keep her.
So I think that what he's talking about, like validation and stuff, is like when you're not looking, and his principles are not for people that are looking for a relationship. He's like, don't validate her because that's not what you're looking for. And the more that you validate, she's gonna think that this is more relationship, or this is not going in the relationship direction. That's what I'm kind of gathering from what he's saying.
Yeah. Well, he's saying that non-sexual attention for y'all is rare. There's not a lot of dudes who just wants to sit back and just hear y'all talk about whatever y'all want to talk about.
Yeah.
So he's saying that like women will go out and look for that, and will use your time. Meanwhile, in the back of the dude's mind, he wants sexual attention.
Right.
But he's saying that like sexual attention for y'all is not scarce because you guys are privileged in the sense that like dudes are just want you know, as opposed, and they'll be more public about that. Like you walk down the street and you get, a cat call, whether you like it or not, that's another topic of another video. But like you get more outward signs of attraction. Right.
Yeah.
As opposed to dudes, when I walk down the street, like I'm not getting catcalled or anything like that. So I don't experience
well, let's hope
that.
not. But in the short run, we might.
Although I would welcome it, like, oh, well, like, well, let me cross the street then. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think that what he's saying is that don't waste our time.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of dudes out there. I mean, you talked about one earlier, like. And although he's not busy at the time, he's driving a truck cross country, so he has time to be able to talk to you. But there's a lot of dudes out there that would spend this time kind of validating, right, and talking in a way that, like, kind of just utilizes their time for, and they're not getting out of it what they want. Like, no matter how much I sit with you in a conversation, that's not going to raise your attraction level. What do you think? What do you think about that?
I don't know.
It depends if you friend zoned them.
Yeah, I think it would.
So how would a dude know that's dating you if you friend zoned him?
My level of communication.
Yeah, but see, that's confusing though because, you talk with the truck driver.
Yeah, I talk with the truck driver, but
so he would have no idea. So he's spending all of this time.
Yeah,
letting you know like how he thinks, like what his dreams are, what his greatest successes are, and you're communicating back, and he's like, man, I'm really starting to get to know her, and then but none of it's equating to relationship. Oh shit. Yeah. You cold, son.
Oh. What can I say? But I feel like that's like, I don't know. I feel like he kind of knew through what I was saying whether or not there would be a relationship, because like I said, with his profession and what it is that I need and what I'm desiring in a relationship, he could tell, hey, like, this is not going to work out because what I'm doing is not going to meet her need, and that's not what she's looking for. So I feel like he could tell that.
So did you outwardly tell him that, because of the amount of time that you're on the road, I couldn't bang with that? Was that like an outward thing, or was it kind of more of an assumption based off of things that you talked about?
I think it was more of an assumption based on what we talked about and like, what I was looking for, what qualities and things like that. Then he could gather like, well, hey, like, and then we talked about like, hey, well, how long do you feel like you're going to be a truck driver and, stuff like this. And when it was like, oh, well, I love it and I want to do it for, another 10 years, it's like, well, okay, well, you know that's
It's not gonna
not
work.
gonna work. But for other guys, I would say my level of communication is definitely an indication, or like if I'm not just engaged in a conversation, I feel like that definitely is an indication as well.
Chasing them. I tell you guys over and over, that's what the bad boys do. They don't never validate these bitches. Now, don't feel bad for women, because please believe she got 5, 10, 15, 20 suckers that give her all their non-sexual attention, hoping that they can get her sexual attention, but they ain't watching my videos, so they don't have no fucking game, so they don't know what the fuck they doing. So she'll be fucking and sucking you, and she'll be talking to them on the phone, and they'll be carrying her fucking book bag and doing all her fucking chores and shit, and so because they don't have no fucking game. So guys, like I said, you don't validate a woman by giving her physical contact in a public setting. You're not gonna fuck her in public. You only initiate physical contact if you're in the house or somewhere where you can fuck her at. You don't talk on the phone. You're giving her non-sexual attention. That's what she want. You validating her. You don't kiss her on the first date. Only way you kiss her on the first date if you invited her back to your crib where sex can take place. You gonna fuck her in the middle at the parking lot, or you gonna fuck at the restaurant? No. So what's the point? What's the point? You just validating her for nothing. Now, if you invited her back to your crib, you can fuck her, so you can make a move. It makes sense. You only want to do stuff like that if you're in a specific place where sex can take place. It makes no sense to go for a kiss if you just walking a girl to her car. That's what nice guys do. All right? Keep that bitch wondering. All right? And another thing,
Nice guys do.
That's what nice guys do. What do you think about
that? I mean, what he's saying, it makes sense to me through me seeing it through the lens of what his mindset is. So if you are just trying to have an opportunity to have sex with a female, I feel like these principles are great. Like, go for it. Like, you're going to be successful in it. However, if your mindset is different, then these do not apply.
Now, describe that different mindset, if you would.
The mindset of having a relationship, I think that, you know, his principle is that you don't show PDA or do, you know, kiss someone or whatever in public or do any of that if you're not going to have sex with them, or you don't do it if you're not in a place where you're going to have sex. Well, I think if you're in a relationship, like, closing those gaps are acceptable, because you're not necessarily, that's not like you're not just looking to have sex with that person. So I think that that's what the difference is.
Got it. Okay. But for dating, you think that, and from a woman's perspective, you think that, like, he's speaking facts. From a dating, it just want sex in it.
If you just want sex, like, I could totally see and understand these principles and stuff. I can.
All right. All right. I'll be honest with you. I didn't think she was going to agree with anything in this video.
Oh, really?
I didn't think you would agree with anything.
Not?
I mean, I hadn't seen the video, but as soon as he started to talk, I'm thinking to myself, oh, she's not gonna bang on what he's saying.
Well, but it makes sense to me. If your end result and for this dating situation is you just want to have sex with this person, I could see how not validating them and you know, just doing PDA or any kind of closing of the gap is only when you're in a place where you're have the opportunity to have sex. That makes sense to me.
But it even sounds like in a relationship, a lot of these make sense too. So indulge me for a second, because again, the truck driver, I'm just using him as an example because it's the only example that came up.
Yeah.
He might have been looking for a relationship, but at the end of the day, there was nothing that he could have said besides the things that lowered his market value to you to get in a relationship. But he still was a validator.
Yeah, he was a validator. He definitely showed validation in a lot of ways.
So even for him, who he might have, let's just say that he was looking for a relationship.
Yeah.
Even for him, this would be useful information, I feel like.
I think so, yeah. So it's the do's and don'ts. So it's like, yeah, I do. I agree. Yeah.
I'm surprised that you agree. I thought it was going to be a much more of a fierce response to what he's saying.
But no, the reason why is because I understand what he's saying because of the end result that he's trying to get. If I wouldn't agree with a lot of the things he's saying if it was, oh, this is how to get in a relationship with someone. But he is not saying this is what you do to get in a relationship. So that's why my mindset is like, I'm like, oh, that makes perfect sense.
Good. All right. Well, listen, it's like another 30 seconds left in the video, but that battery light.
I know. I was just looking at that.
Is blinking right there. So we're gonna have to wrap this up.
Yeah.
Kelly.
Yes.
Appreciate your time here today. Absolutely. So I know you have a YouTube channel. I know you haven't uploaded in a minute, but you want to share with your YouTube channel?
Yeah, so you can check me out at Let's Talk About It with Kelly Michelle.
All right, so they just put that in the search bar and then they can find you. There you have it. So this has been your video for today, and I am your host. Mediocre tutorials and reviews. Anything else you want to say to wrap up, or you just
thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely.
It was a good conversation.
Absolutely. We got to do more conversation like this too, and I know as well as people watching this video, they really appreciate that authentic response. You or I, like, we may not have even thought about before, but it's like interesting when you have a dating coach talk about it and then you take a step back and you're like, oh, that does happen. That does happen. So all right, until next time, peace.